Welcome to the deep dive. In the world of cloud, especially with AWS, it feels like every week brings this just tidal wave of new features, new enhancements. Seriously, how do you even begin to keep up?
It's a real challenge, isn't it? I mean, the sheer volume, it can be overwhelming even if you're trying to stay on top of it technically.
Yeah,
The real trick is sorting through it all, figuring out, okay, what actually matters for my projects, What's going to help my team? What fits our strategy?
exactly. And, well, that's pretty much our mission here today. We've waded through that stack of recent AWS announcements, specifically looking at July 28th to August 1st, 2025, and we've tried to pull out the most important nuggets for you.
Right.
Think of this deep dive as like your shortcut. Stay informed, but hopefully without the brain melt from information overload.
Yeah, our goal is really to give you those essential insights, the stuff that can actually make a difference day to day. So we're going to unpack updates in three main areas. First, boosting operational efficiency and resilience, keeping things running smoothly. Second, advancements in data management and analytics, getting more from your data. And finally, some powerful new tools for developers and streamlining integrations.
All right, let's dive right in then. Operational efficiency and resilience first. We're kicking things off with something pretty big for anyone dealing with email deliverability. Amazon SES. It now has tenant isolation with automated reputation policies.
Yeah.
So for folks managing, complex email setups, what does tenant isolation actually mean in this context, and why is it such a big deal?
Well, think about it like this. You can now carve out isolated environments inside just one SCS account. So each tenant, maybe it's a different app or a specific customer in your SaaS platform, or even different departments gets its own dedicated setup.
Oh.
Configuration sets, identities, templates, all separate. But the real kicker is SES gives you real-time metrics per tenant.
I see.
So say one tenant starts having problems, maybe bounce rates go up, or complaints spike, SES can automatically pause just that one.
Just the problem one.
Exactly. So one, let's call it bad apple, doesn't spoil the whole bunch, doesn't wreck your entire sending reputation. And that reputation, as you know, is everything for deliverability.
Oh, that's huge. Absolutely critical for protecting your overall reputation. So does this mean you can just set it and forget it? Or do you still have controls?
It definitely cuts down the manual work big time, but you still have control. You can choose policy options, standard, strict, or none. And crucially, if there is an issue, notifications go straight to Amazon EventBridge.
Okay, so you can automate alerts.
Right. You can build automated responses.
Yep.
It shifts things from being reactive and potentially system-wide to being proactive and nicely isolated.
Makes sense. Okay, so from protecting email rep, let's switch gears to another foundational service, Active Directory. AWS Directory Service launched its hybrid edition for Managed Microsoft AD.
Yes, this is interesting.
For listeners maybe navigating those complex enterprise setups, what does this hybrid edition actually do?
This is a really big step for simplifying how you manage identity, especially when you've got stuff on-prem and in the cloud, hybrid clouds, basically. What it lets you do is extend your existing on-premises Active Directory domain right into AWS, but as a managed service.
Okay.
Yeah, so the big benefit is the unification. You get this single kind of seamless AD deployment across on-prem, AWS, even other clouds potentially, and the service handles all the tricky bits, replication, maintenance automatically. That's a huge operational load off IT teams.
So wait, if I'm moving an app to AWS and it's deeply tied into AD, this basically just smooths that path, takes away a major headache.
Precisely, yeah. It simplifies those migrations because it keeps all your existing access controls, your group policies, everything, without needing a big reconfiguration effort. Plus, it plugs right into other AWS services, EC2, FSx for Windows, RDS. For big organizations where AD is, deeply embedded, this offers a much easier, more unified, and secure way to handle identity everywhere.
Okay, here's one that I think every sysadmin has felt the pain of. You're waiting, maybe not so patiently, for an EC2 instance to finally shut down.
Oh, yeah. Stuck.
Exactly. Stuck and shutting down. Amazon EC2 now supports forced terminate for instances. What's the fix here?
This hits that frustration right on the head. Sometimes instances just get stuck, right? Frozen OS, maybe an underlying hardware glitch. Yeah. With forced terminate, AWS first tries the normal, graceful shutdown.
Right.
But if that doesn't work after a certain timeout, it just forces it down. The key thing, the why it matters, is you get your resources back way faster.
Like vCPU quotas or IP.
Exactly. vCPU quotas, elastic IPs, things that might be tied up. You don't have to wait for AWS support or spend ages trying to figure it out yourself. It just gives you more control, faster recovery from those, rare but really annoying hangs.
I can almost hear the collective sigh of relief from ops teams.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of recovery and thinking bigger picture, multi-region setups, Amazon Application Recovery Controller, ARC, now supports region switch. This sounds like more than just a minor update.
Oh, absolutely not minor. This is a really significant boost for DR strategies. ARC can now actually orchestrate the whole sequence of steps needed to switch your multi-region application from one AWS region to another.
It handles the orchestration.
Yes. And it gives you dashboards for real-time visibility, plus logging, so you know exactly what's happening during the switch. This could save literally hours of engineering effort. It removes a ton of operational overhead. And it works for different patterns too. Failover, failback for active-passive, or even adding moving regions if you're running active-active. And importantly, the plans themselves, the switch plans, get replicated across regions so you don't have a single point of failure there either.
Wow.
It just massively simplifies what used to be a really complex, often manual, and frankly quite scary process. Huge for business continuity.
That really does sound like it abstracts away a lot of the complexity. Okay, let's pivot. Next big category, advancements into data management and insights. First one here is about big relational data. Amazon Aurora MySQL clusters now support up to 256 TB of storage.
Yeah, double.
Double the old limit. That's a massive jump, isn't it?
It really is huge. Going from 128 TB to 256 TB means you can handle just vastly larger data sets in a single Aurora cluster. For applications growing fast, that's a game changer.
How so?
Well, it fundamentally changes how you might architect things. You can put off sharding, maybe avoid it altogether for much, much longer. And sharding, adds a lot of complexity and operational cost.
Right.
And you still get that pay-for-what-you-use model storage scales automatically up to that new massive limit. Big win for simplifying scaling.
Definitely simplifies things.
Yeah.
Okay, next, shifting to NoSQL fans. Amazon DocumentDB serverless is now generally available. So this is the on-demand auto-scaling version of DocumentDB compatible with MongoDB APIs. What's the key thing for teams looking at this?
The big takeaway here is cost efficiency and easier management, especially if your workload is variable. It scales capacity up or down automatically, like in really small steps based on actual demand. AWS says this can lead to up to 90% cost savings compared to just provisioning for your peak load all the time.
Wow, 90%.
Yeah, potentially huge savings. And it keeps all the MongoDB compatibility, the APIs, features like read replicas, performance insights. It's perfect for things like unpredictable workloads, multi-tenant SaaS apps, or mixed use cases.
Okay.
And what's really interesting now, especially with AI, is its native vector search.
Yeah.
That makes it super well suited for building those agentic AI applications, AI that can do complex tasks that need a dynamic database behind them.
Very cool. Okay, this next one. For anyone who spends like half their life digging through logs, this sounds amazing. CloudWatch Logs Insights now supports natural language query generation.
Yes, using generative AI.
For OpenSearch, PPL, and SQL. How does this actually change the day-to-day for, say, developers or ops folks?
This is just a fantastic example of AI making life easier right in the workflow. You can literally type in plain English like, show me errors and exceptions per hour, or what are the top 100 source IPs by bytes transferred?
Seriously, just type that.
Yep. And CloudWatch uses AI to generate the actual OpenSearch, PPL, or SQL query for you. It massively lowers the barrier. You don't need to be a query language expert anymore to get quick insights or troubleshoot faster. It's really bringing AI power directly into monitoring.
That is a productivity booster right there.
Oh, okay.
Sticking with CloudWatch for a sec, Database Insights got an update too, on-demand analysis for RDS for Oracle, and fleet monitoring for Aurora PostgreSQL Limitless databases. Sounds like even deeper dives into database performance, again with AI.
Exactly. For Oracle on RDS, it uses machine learning to pinpoint performance bottlenecks during specific times you select. And doesn't just find them, it gives you advice on how to fix them. AWS claims it cuts diagnosis time from hours down to minutes.
Hours to minutes, okay.
Yeah. And for Aurora Limitless, which is designed for massive scale, it now gives you that fleet-level view. A single place to see the health of your entire database estate, consolidating logs, metrics, all into unified dashboards. These are really powerful tools for DevOps engineers, DBAs. You get deep AI-driven insights, plus that unified view for managing everything. Streamlines troubleshooting, helps with proactive management too.
Nice. All right, let's move into our final segment, empowering developers and streamlining integrations. This first one is big for Lambda users, particularly if you're dealing with larger responses. AWS Lambda response streaming now supports 200 millibeat payloads.
Yeah, tenfold increase.
10 times the old 20 millibeat limit.
Yeah.
How does that simplify building certain kinds of apps?
Well, it's a direct boost for performance and just makes the architecture simpler for anything sensitive to latency. By upping that payload limit so much, you get a faster time to first byte, or TTFB.
Right.
And you can handle much bigger responses directly in Lambda. Think about sending, I don't know, large reports, maybe image-heavy PDFs, even audio files straight from the function.
Without needing S3 or something first.
Exactly. No need for intermediate steps like dumping it to S3 or doing complex compression gymnastics just to get under the limit. It means simpler code, less workarounds, and better latency for the end user. Really important for things like real-time AI chats or fast web and mobile apps.
Definitely removes a layer of complexity.
Okay, sticking with robust architectures, Amazon SNS also got some key updates. More message filtering operators and standard topics can now support SQS fair queues.
Useful ones.
For people building event-driven systems, how do these help?
These are really crucial for building more efficient, more resilient, event-driven setups. The new filtering operators, you get wildcard matching, anything but wildcard, anything but prefix. They just give you much more precise control over routing messages.
More granular control.
Yeah, exactly. You can be more specific about which subscribers get which messages, meaning less filtering logic needed in your actual application code downstream.
And the SQS fair queue support, that's also really important, especially if you have multi-tenant systems using SQS. It helps prevent the noisy neighbor problem.
Where one busy tenant slows everyone else down.
Precisely. It ensures that high-volume messages, or maybe slow processing messages from one tenant, don't block or delay messages for other tenants in the same queue. Improves the overall quality of service significantly.
Gotcha. Okay, next up. This is pretty cool for devs using AI day-to-day. Amazon Q developer CLI announced custom agents. Sounds like a way to really personalize your AI coding assistant right there in the terminal.
Yeah, this is all about boosting developer productivity with highly tailored AI help. You define a custom agent with a config file. You tell it which tools it's allowed to use, you give it prompts to guide how it behaves, and you feed it context like specific files from your project.
So you can control what it does and what it knows.
Exactly. You can set permissions, like maybe it can only write to certain directories. You can give it static files or even dynamic files as context, so its responses are really specific to your task. And these agents can be just for one project or global, and you can share them easily. It just streamlines workflows, cuts down on switching between tools, and lets you automate common or complex dev tasks with real precision right from your command line.
That sounds incredibly powerful for tailoring AI.
Okay, and finally, one more for automation around EC2. Auto-scaling now lets you use AWS Lambda functions directly as notification targets for lifecycle hooks.
Simplifying things again.
Yeah. How does this clean things up compared to before?
It's a neat simplification. So lifecycle hooks let you pause an instance when it's scaling in or out, right? So you can run custom actions.
Like grabbing logs before it terminates.
Exactly. Perfect example. Or maybe doing some pre-launch checks. Before, you needed something in the middle like EventBridge or SNS feeding into SQS, then triggering Lambda, kind of roundabout.
Right. Now, you just point the lifecycle hook directly at the Lambda function's ARN. Done. It makes automating those critical tasks much easier, cuts out the middleman services, reduces complexity in your automation flows, cleaner, more efficient.
Okay, so, wow. If we just take a breath and look back at this batch of updates, just from, late July to August 1st, we've hit on a really wide range. Boosting ops, resilience, massive data scale, smarter insights, better developer tools, smoother integrations.
Yeah, it's quite a spread. And you know what's really interesting is the underlying theme, right? You see it week after week. AWS is constantly pushing to make services more automated, more scalable, more intelligent.
The AI integration seems key.
Definitely. More built-in AI, like that CloudWatch natural language stuff, making things easier to use. And this constant trend of abstracting away the low-level infrastructure complexity, letting teams focus higher up.
Right.
Oh, and also just the relentless expansion of services into more regions globally, making everything available to more people.
So all these changes, the managed services getting smarter, more interconnected, AI doing more of the heavy lifting in ops and even development. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
How are the roles of, say, cloud architects, cloud engineers going to evolve over the next few years? What skills become really crucial? And, what kind of new possibilities does all this abstraction actually unlock for teams, for organizations?
That's the big question, isn't it? What do we build next now that the foundations are getting so much smarter and easier to manage?
Definitely something for all of us to chew on as we navigate this constantly changing cloud world.